A childhood as a ballerina, meeting her husband while she was still a teenager, dating some of the most handsome men in Hollywood. Keep watching to see how Penelope Cruz's lifelong transformation has been filled with plenty of glamour. Born in Spain in 1974, Penelope Cruz comes from a tight-knit family. Her father, Eduardo, worked as a mechanic, while her mom, Encarna, was a hairdresser. Penelope is the oldest of their 3 children. Her sister, Monica, is 3 years younger. She's a dancer and actress who appeared as her sister's body double in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. The sisters have also worked together designing clothing collections. Their brother, Eduardo, is 11 years younger than Penelope, and he's involved in the music side of the entertainment business. He began composing when he was 14, and he particularly enjoys electronic music and film composition. Like his sisters, he also worked on Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, when he collaborated with that film's composer Hans Zimmer. Since then, Eduardo has composed music for movies, commercials, video games, and more. He also dated actress Eva Longoria after she was divorced from Tony Parker. When Penelope Cruz was 4 years old, her parents enrolled her in ballet classes so that she would have a place to use her energy productively.
I had too much energy, so my parents decided to put me in a ballet school. Thank God, because I didn't know what to do with myself.
Cruz credits her time as a ballerina for helping her to prepare for the often grueling conditions that come with working on movie sets. As she told 60 Minutes in 2010, "If I hadn't had the discipline of all those years in the dance world, it would have been much, much tougher. I mean, it goes too far sometimes. I mean, I used to take my toenails, they would die from dancing, so I would just take the whole toenail and throw it away and not feel anything, but I loved it." Then, when Cruz was 14, she saw the Pedro Almodovar film Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, which had such a profound effect on her that she decided to get an agent that very day. She attended a cattle call hosted by Katrina Bayonas, who initially refused to let Cruz audition because she was so young. But after returning several times and pleading her case, Bayonas finally agreed. Cruz channeled her frustration with Bayonas into an improvised scene in which she played an angry young woman. Blown away by her performance, Bayonas decided to sign her as a client. Out of the 300 women that had vied for representation, Cruz was the only one she signed. It wasn't long after landing an agent that Penelope Cruz started booking movie roles. One of them was the romantic tragicomedy Hamon Hamon. Still just a teenager at the time, she played a role that many considered quite scandalous. And one of her co-stars was none other than her future husband, Javier Bardem. As he recalled to GQ in 2017, "She was underage, nothing happened, there was obvious chemistry between us. I mean, it's all there on film, it's like a document of our passion. One day we're going to have to show the kids. Imagine, Mommy, Daddy, what did you do in the movies together? Well, my children, you should celebrate this movie as you're here because of it." Cruz and Bardem subsequently remained friends, although they didn't work together again until 2008's Vicky Cristina Barcelona. As the end of that latter shoot drew closer, Bardem began to worry that a romance might never happen. But things progressed at a wrap party, and they've been together ever since. They married quietly in the Bahamas in 2010 and have continued to collaborate on screen.
You and Penelope have performed together. You have a life on stage and off stage together.
Yeah.
Is that hard?
It is weird. It is weird.
Penelope Cruz counts fellow movie star Salma Hayek as one of her closest friends. The two have known each other since they worked on the 2006 film Bandidas together. According to Cruz, their relationship got off to a great start when Hayek insisted that Cruz stay with her and not at a hotel. As Cruz recounted on the Ellen DeGeneres show, "I was coming here for 2 months and I didn't know anyone here, and she picked me up and said, 'You're not going to the hotel, you're coming to my house because this is hard at the beginning and you're going to feel very lonely.'" Hayek's hospitality sparked the beginning of a sister-like bond that continues to this day. During a Times Talks interview in 2016, Cruz recounted the night when Hayek was getting ready to attend a premiere and the power went out in her house and she needed to have her hair done. So she called Cruz, who had spent her childhood in the salon with her mom, so that she could come over and do her hair by candlelight. Clearly, that's a tight bond. As Penelope Cruz tells it, the most important creative relationship of her life is her longtime partnership with filmmaker Pedro Almodovar.
He can imagine myself doing things that I cannot even see myself doing out of fear.
Cruz's desire to work with Almodovar was first sparked when she saw his film Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down when she was a teenager, as she recounted to Times Talks. "It was a life-changing experience. I came out of the theater, I took a walk by myself, and I decided in that moment to try to become an actress, just to give it a try." After Almodovar saw the first 2 movies that Cruz was in, he called her and they began their decades-long collaboration. They first worked together on 1997's Live Flesh and most recently on 2021's Parallel Mothers. And in between, they also hooked up for All About My Mother, Volver, Broken Embraces, I'm So Excited, and Pain and Glory. Before marrying Javier Bardem in 2010, Penelope Cruz had some notable romantic relationships with other well-known movie stars. For example, she and Tom Cruise met in 2000 during the production of Vanilla Sky and then started dating the following year after his marriage to Nicole Kidman ended. They ultimately split up in 2004. A source close to the couple told People magazine at the time, the relationship just ran its course and they decided not to be girlfriend and boyfriend anymore. Through most of the relationship, they were both shooting movies in separate parts of the world. Cruz and Cruz maintained their friendship and she even met his daughter Suri when she was a baby. The following year, Cruz started dating Matthew McConaughey after they met on the set of the action-adventure flick Sahara. They broke up in 2006, and although there was speculation that he began dating his future wife Camila Alves when he was still with Cruz, he's denied that. Penelope Cruz has been a staple at the Academy Awards for many years now. Her first trip down the red carpet occurred in 1994 when Belle Époque, a film she co-starred in, won for Best Foreign Language Film. Then in 2000, she was tapped to present the award for the same category and had the honor of reading longtime friend Pedro Almodovar's name when she opened up the envelope and discovered that he'd won for his film All About My Mother. Cruz was also on hand when her husband-to-be Javier Bardem collected the statue in 2008 for Best Supporting Actor for No Country for Old Men. The following year, she won herself in the Best Supporting Actress category for Vicky Cristina Barcelona, thereby becoming the first Spanish actress to receive the coveted award. As she said during her acceptance speech, "I grew up in a place called Alcobendas, where this was not a very realistic dream." She also joked that she might be the first person to faint right there on the stage. Then in 2022, Cruz and Bardem were both nominated once again, he for Being the Ricardos and she for Parallel Mothers, though neither won. Still, it was nice for both of them to be recognized at the same time. As Bardem noted to Deadline, "We were on the sofa, cuddled together, waiting to see what was going to happen. When they announced my nomination first, I was very excited, but it wasn't a true celebration until we heard she was also nominated."
The fact that we are celebrating both nominations in the same year, it's something that makes it way more special, as you can imagine.
It took a while for Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem to go from meeting each other to becoming husband and wife. Sparks really began to fly between the two on the set of Vicky Cristina Barcelona in 2007. As Bardem recounted to GQ in 2017, "Neither of us would make the first move. I don't know if we were shy or trying to be too professional. Anyway, it got to the very last day of filming and nothing had happened, so I thought, we better get drunk." Luckily, a friend of ours threw a wrap party and, well, the rest is history. Thank God. By 2009, they were engaged. They wed in a quiet ceremony in the Bahamas the following year amid rumors that she was pregnant. Now, more than a decade into their marriage, Cruz and Bardem prefer to keep their relationship private. But we do know that in 2011, they welcomed their son Leo, and in 2013, they welcomed their daughter Luna. They're raising those kids in the capital of Madrid in their native country of Spain. As Cruz noted to The Telegraph in 2019, "Even if you think you know what it's going to be, it's so amazing what happens when you see your kid for the first time. You then see the world differently for the rest of your life because you're always going to think about somebody else first." Since having children, Cruz has cut down on her workload and chooses her projects more carefully. Before becoming a parent, she used to make 4 or 5 movies annually, but now she takes on only a couple of projects per year. In 2018, Karl Lagerfeld, longtime creative director for Chanel, chose Penelope Cruz to be a brand ambassador. Cruz, who attended her first Chanel show in 1999 and had worn many of his designs in the intervening years, was delighted at the opportunity. As she told Women's Wear Daily, "It's such an iconic brand, and Karl is a genius, and I've been admiring everything he's done since I was a little girl, so it's such a pleasure working with him. He's like the king of fashion, and we had a really interesting photo shoot, so to be in front of his camera is an adventure."
How was it to work with him?
It was a great experience.
When Lagerfeld died the following year, scores of stars showed up at Paris Fashion Week to pay tribute to him and walk in his final runway show. Cruz, who was featured in a stunning black and white photographic campaign shot by Lagerfeld himself, was among the big names who participated in the show, as she carried a white rose on her walk down the runway in tribute to the designer. In 2022, Penelope Cruz announced the formation of her new production company, Moonlion. It was formed in partnership with the Media Pro Studio, a Spanish media group, and it will focus on producing various types of content for both film and TV. Media Pro has offices all over the world, and it's considered a significant force within Latin America. The company has previously been involved in projects featuring both Cruz and her husband Javier Bardem, as Cruz announced in a statement. With more demand than ever for stories from diverse backgrounds and new parts of the world, I am very happy to be able to continue my work as a producer with a company that I know intimately and that has valuable international positioning experience. Our goal is for Moonlion to become a quality benchmark with a personality of its own. It sounds like Penelope Cruz has plenty left cooking, and we can't wait to see what she has in store for us. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.